The war between Israel and Hamas in Gaza is now among the deadliest and most destructive conflicts in recent memory. According to the AP, in just over 2 months, Israel's offensive has caused more destruction than the razing of Syria's Aleppo and Ukraine's Mariupol or the Allied bombing of Germany in World War II. The Palestinian Health Ministry in Gaza now says over 20,000 people have been killed. Hundreds of thousands of people are starving with little to no access to clean water and at risk of dying from infectious diseases. Today, the UN Security Council passed a resolution calling for urgent and extended humanitarian pauses to allow for more humanitarian aid. Now, the U.S. vetoed previous versions of this resolution, ones that included stronger language calling for an immediate ceasefire. When the Security Council voted on the watered-down resolution, the U.S. abstained because it did not contain language condemning Hamas's October 7th attack. Following passage of the resolution, Israel's foreign minister said Israel will continue the war until the release of all the abductees and the elimination of Hamas in the Gaza Strip. This comes as the Israeli military ordered residents in several areas of central Gaza to evacuate, indicating that their offensive is expanding with no end in sight. Joining me now is Ayman Mohyeldin, host of Ayman, which airs weeknights on MSNBC, of course. Ayman, let's just talk about the UN Security Council resolution, which is more than almost anything else, a statement of principles. And I wonder how you read the behavior of the United States delegation in all of this.
I think I read it by looking at previous votes and seeing how much the United States had become an outlier in the international community as a result of taking this position of not calling for a ceasefire. Keep in mind that previous UN Security Council resolutions that called for a ceasefire, the U.S. vetoed them, but then they also went to the General Assembly and once again got votes overwhelmingly from all the member states, with a handful of exceptions, for a ceasefire. So the United States was facing international pressure and quite honestly, in the face of the reality that is emerging on the ground, was a situation that they could no longer just simply justify and say that we are going to allow for to continue, and that is the humanitarian aspect of this. I know that the resolution today was watered down than where it was a couple of days ago, and certainly what the United Arab Emirates and other countries that were voting for this wanted to see. But nonetheless, the abstention of the United States, some people are interpreting it as an opening, not necessarily as a final position, but as an opening that the United States may be beginning to soften its position on allowing Israel to continue these hostilities without any kind of conditions being set on what happens on the ground.
Yeah, let's talk more about that, because abstention is not a no, right? It's kind of like what happens in Congress. You just don't vote, therefore you're somewhere in the middle. Given the gravity of the disaster that is unfolded in Gaza, 20,000 dead, mass starvation. I mean, as Ben Rhodes was saying on the program last night, death and destruction on this scale has not happened in this century. This feels like a holdover, a callback to what happened in the worst days of World War II. Do you think that is finally shifting the U.S. position vis-a-vis the Netanyahu government? And at what point, the New York Times makes the point that U.S. is still sending over 2,000-pound bombs that Israel is using to, bomb civilian areas of Gaza. At what point do you think the military aid becomes part of the calculation in terms of the U.S. negotiating with Israel on its stance?
Yeah, so there's two components to that. The first component is the fact that whether or not the United States believes it, and certainly whether or not the United States accepts it, the international community, and certainly the Arab world, and certainly the Palestinians, see that the United States is co-signing every single bomb, every single missile, every single bullet that is going into Gaza. They see that because the truth is the American government is providing Israel with unconditional amounts of weapons for this operation. So it is providing them diplomatic cover at the United Nations, it's providing them material support in the way that it conducts this war. But here's the point, that the United States had bet on Israel being successful in this campaign. And what is clearly emerging now, and a lot of former military officials, both in Israel and certainly here in the United States, including the former Israeli Prime Minister Ehud Olmert, beginning to question whether or not the effectiveness of this military campaign is going to be successful in the two stated objectives. Keep in mind, these are Israel's objectives. One, to release the hostages to destroy Hamas. The only hostages that have been released so far have been a product of negotiations, not as a result of the actual bombing. In fact, 3 hostages were killed by Israel, and that really changed a lot of the public mood. The second component to that objective is Israel's stated goal of destroying Hamas. Well, here we are, almost 12 weeks into this war. The senior leaders of Hamas are still very much operational, very much in command of the organization. That is according to the Israeli military's own assessment. They have not been killed. Israel is still facing casualties on the battlefield 12 weeks into this war. They just had the deadliest day for their soldiers just a couple of days ago when they lost 9 soldiers in Gaza. So clearly those two stated objectives now are becoming more scrutinized 12 weeks into this war, juxtaposed against the fact that 20,000 people have been killed. And I think the Americans see that, and I think the Americans realize this is a serious problem right now for them, both on the international stage and diplomatically as well as politically for President Joe Biden.
Yeah, I'll just, before we go, read that quote from Ehud Olmert writing, I believe, in an op-ed. Israel now faces a choice between ceasefire as a part of a deal that may bring home hostages alive and a ceasefire with no deal, no hostages, no apparent achievement, with a total loss of the remnants of international public support. It is a horror what is unfolding. Ayman Mohyeldin, thank you again for your time tonight. I appreciate it, my friend.
Thank you. My pleasure.